Good morning. This is English 8 for Wednesday, March the 25th. We're open up your grammar books to page 201. We're going to talk about distinguishing phrases. Now, we know basically there are 4 types of phrases we've talked about so far. Okay, the 4 types of phrases are prepositional phrases, participial phrases, gerunds, as well as infinitives. Now, how do I identify them? Because before I can tell you what they do, I need to be able to find them, okay? So in order to find a prepositional phrase, remember, it begins with a preposition, it ends with its noun or its object, and it includes all of its modifiers. Then we have participial phrases. Participial phrases are going to begin with a word form that has an ending of ing, d, ed, t, or end. Sorry about that. All right. Or we have a gerund phrase. Gerund phrases are also going to be a verb form, and they're always going to end in an ing. Always. Okay. Then we have infinitives. Infinitives are preceded by the word to, and then it's a verb form. Now the thing is, when I keep saying verb forms, remember, they don't act like verbs. Okay, the phrase is going to have a different job. Let's review that. Prepositional phrases begin with a preposition, end with a noun, but they describe. If they describe a noun or a pronoun, they're an adjective phrase. If they describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb, then they are an adverb phrase. Then we have participial phrases. Participial phrases, again, they have a verb. They are a verb with an ending that ends in ing, d, ed, en, or t. Okay? Participial phrases are going to be adjectives. That means they're going to describe a noun or a pronoun. Okay? So participial phrases are always going to describe or modify a noun or a pronoun because they're going to serve as an adjective. Their job is to be an adjective. Okay? A gerund, if you remember, I just told you that it has a verb form that ends in ing. But a gerund is going to serve as a noun. It's going to look like a verb, but it's going to act like a noun. When it acts like a noun in the sentence, its job is going to be the subject, to be the direct object, to be the indirect object, to be the predicate nominative, to be the object of a preposition, to be in a positive, okay? So it's going to do the job of a noun, okay? It's going to look like a verb. It's going to end in an ing, but it's going to do the job of a noun. The last one is the infinitives. Infinitives start with the word to, and then they're going to have a verb form. To eat, to go, to visit, okay? If I said to visit his grandmother, that could be an infinitive phrase, okay? Because it's to, his, and again, it's modifiers. And it can serve as a noun. Again, it's going to serve as the subject or the direct object or the indirect object, the predicate nominative, the object of a preposition, or in a positive, because those are the jobs of a noun, okay? A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. A gerund, acting as a noun, or an infinitive, acting as a noun, it's going to be a group of words that's still going to be the subject, the predicate nominative, the direct object, the indirect object, the object of a preposition, or in a positive. Now here's the thing. Infinitives can also be an adjective or an adverb. Gerunds can do all 3 jobs. You have to look carefully at a sentence to see which ones it's doing. Look at page 201 with me today. There is a chart at the top of page 201. You're going to want to know that chart. I don't mean you have to memorize it, but I do mean that you really need to understand it. You need to understand, okay, prepositions, this is how I can identify them. Oh, a preposition, this is what it does. This is its job. Let's look at number 1. It says identify the italicized phrase as a prepositional phrase, as a participial phrase, as a gerund phrase, or as an infinitive phrase, okay? Use the chart above you if you get a little stuck as we're going through these. The computer has become a vital part of everyday lives of the people of society. Boy, is that a true statement. all right? Of the everyday lives. That's our phrase. Now, what kind of phrase is it? It's a prepositional phrase. It begins with a preposition and it ends with a noun. So therefore, I know it's a prepositional phrase, okay? Now, look at number 2. The first computers were not made for entertainment or academics. The phrase that we're looking at is for entertainment or academics. For is a preposition. It ends with academics, which is a noun. That tells me I'm looking at a prepositional phrase. Look at number 3. They were machines for crunching numbers and making work faster and easier. Crunching numbers and making work faster and easier. It ends in an ing, but does it describe? No. So we know that it's not a participle. It's going to be a gerund, okay? It's a gerund. Now, how is it acting? Is it acting like our subject? No. The direct object? No. An indirect object? No. The predicate nominative? No. What about an object of a preposition? Aha, yes it is. Because the word right in front of it is the word for. So, for crunching numbers and making work faster is a prepositional phrase. All of the words crunching numbers and making work faster and easier is a gerund. Okay, it's a gerund phrase that's job is to be the object of the preposition. Let's look at the next one. In 1801, Joseph Jacquard of France invented the mechanical loom to weave designs based on wood cards with holes punched in them. Okay, our phrase is to weave designs. Okay, to weave designs is a it starts with the word to. Starts with the word to, so it's going to be either a preposition or an infinitive. Okay, so let's look at that. It's not describing, so it's going to be an infinitive. It doesn't end with a preposition. I'm sorry, it doesn't end with an object. If I can get those words out. To weave does not end with an object. To weave looks like a verb, sounds like a verb, but it's not acting like a verb. Number 5. In 1822, Charles Babbage's concept for a computing machine became the forerunner of the modern computer. In 1822 is a prepositional phrase. It tells us when. It's an adjective. Good. Number 6. The Turing machine constructed in 1936 was the basis of the modern computer. Constructed in 1936. Okay, let's go through the steps. It's not a prepositional because it doesn't begin with a preposition. Is it a participle? Well, look at the first word, constructed. It sounds like a verb. It ends in one of the verb endings, but is it acting like a verb? No, it's not. It's a participial phrase. Constructed in 1936 is a participial phrase describing machine. Which machine? The one constructed in 1936. Look at number 7. The first computer language, COBOL, was developed by Grace Hopper in 1953. By Grace Hopper, and that's our phrase that we're looking at. It is a prepositional phrase. Okay, number 8. China achieved its desire to build the largest supercomputer in the world in 2016. Okay, so our phrase, to build the largest supercomputer in the world in 2016. What is that? To build is a infinitive. Very good. Having more computer power than many of the Apollo spacecraft's computers, today's smartphones are computers that we carry in our pockets. Having more computer power than many of the Apollo spacecraft's computers. What is that? The first word is having. Having is a participle. Number 10. To send blessings to mankind, God often uses human tools. Our phrase is to send blessings to mankind. To send blessings to mankind is a to send. Which kind of phrase do you have? You have a, hopefully you said infinitive. You have an infinitive. Let's look at exercise B. It says identify the use of each italicized phrase as a noun, as an adjective, or an adverb. Do not consider separately prepositional phrases that are part of an infinitive or a gerund phrase. Because remember, infinitives and gerunds are going to have modifiers. Okay, so if there's a prepositional phrase that's serving as a modifier in there, we don't want to say, oh, there's a prepositional phrase too. Just look at the whole big thing. Don't break the little parts down, okay? Number 1, students were eager to surprise their teacher. To surprise their teacher. What is that? How is it? What is its job? What's it doing? It's an adverb. It's telling us what? What's the question? Where, when, how often, or to what extent? Okay? It's telling us, or we can say why or under what conditions. They were eager to what? To surprise their teacher. It's an adverb. Lance desires to do his best. To do his best is a what? Okay, let's break it down in case you didn't get it. Desires is the verb. Lance is our subject. Lance desires what? To do his best. So to do his best is the direct object. If it's a direct object, it is a noun. Okay, it's a noun. It's to do his best is acting like a noun. William's trip to the Grand Canyon is planned for this summer. To the Grand Canyon is our phrase. How is it used? It's used as an adjective. It's telling us which trip. Which trip? The one planned to the Grand Canyon. Okay? Turn to the next page to 202. Mr. Phillips is the one to ask about the reception. To ask about the reception. To ask is a infinitive. How is this infinitive being used? Okay, because infinitives can be nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. This infinitive is used as an adjective describing which one? Okay? Fishing all afternoon is Jason's idea of a good day. Fishing all afternoon is acting as our, hopefully you said subject. Since it's a subject, it is a noun. Arriving before noon, the Johnsons surprised everyone. Okay, the phrase is arriving before noon. Arriving sounds like a what? Arriving sounds like a participial, okay? And what does it do? It's describing the Johnsons. Which Johnsons? The Johnsons arriving before noon. Okay, there could be more than one family. We went to watch the sunrise at the beach. To watch the sunrise at the beach. To watch is it's an infinitive. How is it being used? It's telling us why we went. Okay, we went to watch the sunrise. Why? To watch, okay, so it's an adverb. Ringing loudly through the stillness, the alarm clock woke the whole family. Ringing loudly through the stillness describes the clock. Number 9, I studied for hours to prepare for my driving test. To prepare for my driving test is an adverb telling me why I studied. Number 10, watching the beautiful ice skaters. We did not realize we had stood for hours. Okay, what is watching the beautiful ice skaters? It's an adjective describing the who didn't realize this. Okay, so it's describing we. Your assignment today is to look at exercise C. Exercise C. Underline each participle, gerund, and infinitive. Circle each prepositional phrase. Remember, phrases can be within one of the other phrases. Okay, label the use of each phrase as a noun, as an adjective, or an adverb. I want you to do this. We're going to check it tomorrow, but I want you to do it today on your own so we can check it and I can make sure that you're getting an idea of how to do it before we do this for our quiz. All right, I really miss you guys. I hope you're staying healthy. Wash your hands a bunch. Do your best not to get sick.